Alright, so here I'm going to add an Our Skills section, just like we did the Our Team section up here. And I'm going to start by enabling the Visual Builder again. And then I will scroll down. And right here I'm going to click on this blue icon to make a new section. And I'll make it a regular section. I'll just do one bar, and I'm going to put the text that says Our Team, or Our Skills in this case. So I'll use a blurb module again. Blurb is probably my favorite module out of all of them. And I'm just going to put Our Skills. And if I want to, I can drag this so I can actually see what it looks like. And here I'll scroll down. And I'll make the text orientation centered. Go to Design. And again, I'm going to change the header font size to be about 45. You can actually write it right in here if you'd like. And you see it looks a little bit different than the one that we have up here. And that's because the font we used above is Lobster. So let's change this one to Lobster as well. I want to have it look very consistent throughout the site. And now it says Our Skills and Our Team. It looks pretty good there. So once we're happy with that, we can just click Save. And I'm going to add another section here. Something I actually want to do is I wanted to show you before how to divide up these sections a little bit. So before we move down and start adding our skills, let's go and click the settings area here. And you'll see that we can use a background image. So if we go to right here, click on the screw icon on the blue full width area or the section area, we can add a background image. And I wanted to upload a gray image. Basically, it's a good way to break it up with a light gray and then a white and then a light gray and a white, and keep doing this. It's something that like Apple does and other sites that are very popular tend to do this. So if we actually go to a site called canva.com, and you will need to sign up here for an account or with Facebook or whatever you would like to do, log in, and you can actually create designs. So there's designs for about everything. If I click on more here, you'll see that there's ways to make everything like presentations, letterhead, magazines, blog titles, ebook covers, infographics. There's things for logos, YouTube thumbnails, YouTube art, Facebook, Twitter. Everything you can pretty much imagine, you can create it. And let me just show you why it's pretty cool. So if you want to go to Twitter header, it will actually have this image here so you can see what it would look like on your Twitter account with your photo in the way, and you can kind of design around that and not have anything mess up. It's a cool part of it. And I'm just going to X out of that right now. But I'm going to show you how to just create a quick gray or light gray background that we're going to use here. And if I wanted to, I would go and choose a large area. So this one would be good as presentation. I would want it to be about 1920 by 1080, so it's pretty much guaranteed to take up the screen here. And then I'll go where it says background, and then I'll just click on this color gray, and that's a good way to do it. If you wanted to, you can actually change the color right here, and it could be lighter or darker if you want a different color background. If you want to use a pre-made design that's free, you can do that. They also have ones that are $1 each. As you scroll down further, it'll show the ones that are $1. You can see like this, and it would just cost you $1 to create that. In this case, I'm going to use a free one. There's no need to really pay for anything in our case, and I usually use this to make a lot of free designs for the websites. So I'm going to actually lighten this a little bit here on the left side. You can do it right in here as well if you click on the image itself, click on the filter, and then you can do it in here as well by clicking there and going to the color wheel. So there's a lot of different things you can do here. I'm just going to download it, and I'm going to change this to be a PNG file, and I'll download, and it will save to the computer. Now you can see that it's saved. I'm going to go back here to the front end of the blog, and here I will click on the screw icon again, front end of the website actually, and I will click on the screw icon again. And now upload the image, click upload files, select files, and then I'm going to go to downloads, and here's the one I just made. And I'll upload an image, and now you can see it has this gray background behind, and it looks pretty nice to divide up the sections. You can also do other things to divide up the sections, and maybe I'll get into that as we go further on in this video. But for now, I'm just going to save those changes. And what I'll do is I'll X out of the image. And then I'm actually going to just save it as is. And I'm going to use the backend editor or the normal Divi editor to start editing this next part here. So I'll just go back here to the dashboard. And I'll go to where it says pages. And I'm going to get into how to edit a little bit here within the pages section. We'll just go to edit. And a lot of people don't necessarily like this these days because you can't see what's going on. But I've used it so much that I feel like I have a really good idea of what's going on here. So if you can see, this is the blue area for the section, and here's the row, and here's where the modules are. It's just like we had out here where we have this as the section, row, and then the modules here. So I'm just going to save it one more time just to be sure, and I'm going to exit. And now we'll see what it looks like. For now, it says our skills. Now I'm going to go back here to the dashboard, and I want to stay within this section because this section will take on the gray color that we have here. And I'm going to click Add Row, and I'm going to make it like this with 2. And now I'm going to insert a module, and I'm going to go with the blurb here. Again, I really like the blurb. And I'll just save it for now. I'm not going to edit anything. And next, I'll click on this one on the right. So we're going to go to this module right here. And I'm going to add bar counters there. And I will save that as well. I just wanted to show you what the layout will look like. If you don't want to have bar counters and another blurb here, that's totally fine with me. You can choose to add a different module. There are so many different options here for your own site that you can add very easily to get set up quickly. And I'm going to go to where it says blurb, and I'm going to, again, just put our skill set. Instead of our skills, I'll put our skill set. Maybe I'll say our unique skill set. And then I'll scroll down a little bit. I'm going to use an icon again. And in this case, I'm going to probably go with like something like a check mark would be good, or a thumbs up. And I'll just save it. I'll go back. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to save it entirely. And I'll go back here, scroll down, and then I'll click circle icon this time. And I'm going to use the circle icon, but I also want to change the text color, the icon color here. So if you have green on green, it's not even going to show up. So you want to use something like white. And we can click here to preview it. So let's do that. And we'll see what it will look like. So right now, that's what it looks like. If we click on this X in the middle, we can get out of the preview. I'm going to actually X out of Canva because we no longer need that as well. So now let's just scroll down, and I'm going to choose the image placement on the left. And now if we preview that, we can see this preview isn't always accurate, but it's pretty good. You can see right here the difference. And now I'm just going to move over to the next section here where it says Advanced Design Settings. And that would say Design on the Visual Builder on the front end. So it really isn't much different. Header font, I'm going to change to be bitter because that's one I've been using. I'm going to increase this to be 22 so it looks a little bit better, a little larger. And down here, I'm going to use the body font as Lato, which is my favorite body font there is. And I'm going to increase this to be 15 or 16. That's fine, either one. Now the body text color, if we go here and we preview it again, we'll see right here is our text, and it's nice and dark with this check mark next to it. It looks pretty good, I think. Now if we wanted to add body text, I have to actually go back here to add the body text into general settings, and I'm going to have to add it into this area. So I'll grab some text here that I already wrote up, just some dummy text. You can use lorem ipsum text or any other dummy text you want, and I'll just add that in. And if we preview it now, we can see what it will look like, and there it is. I'm going to X out of it, and I'll go to Advanced Settings. And I didn't really like how it was gray on gray. If you see this, you can see again, it's a little bit not great to read. It's not bad, but it's not great either. I'm going to scroll down and just change the body text color to be darker. And I want it to be full black, and let's see how this looks. And now it stands out a little bit more, I think. And I'm just going to save it in this case. And that's it for this side of it. Now to make those changes go into effect, we got to go up here and click Update. And let's go and refresh the actual front end of the site and we'll see what it looks like. So there it is, our unique skill set with this check mark right here and then our text here below it. So if you want to change that, you can totally do that, but for now I'm going to leave it as is. I think it looks pretty good. And I'm just going to go back here to the back end again. And we can do this from the back end or the front end. It's kind of up to you, but I'll show you right now. I'll show you how to get started in the back end, and then I'll also show you in the front end. So if we go and click Add Bar Counter, we can add things like 24-hour turnaround time. And I'm going to make this be 95% of the time this happens. And I'm going to go into where it says Advanced Design Settings. Actually, I'll just save it as is for this in this case. And right here is where we can make changes. So if I want a different background color than this gray on the gray, let's preview what that looks like. So it's kind of hard to see this gray background on this already gray background here, the gray background of the counter. So I'm going to X out of that. And I'm going to click on this background color here and click dark. I'm going to just make it a darker color. I'll just go all the way dark because it'll be easy to remember. And now if we view it, we can see that it says 24-hour turnaround time, and it has more of a definitive background. So now I'm going to X out of the preview again. If you wanted to, you can turn off the percentages. I'm actually going to go right here to Advanced Design Settings, and again I want to make the text a little bit darker on that background. So I'm going to go to where it says Title Text Font here, click on this color, and I'm going to again make this black here. And if we preview the change, we'll see that now it's a little bit more visible for the title. And if I wanted to X out of that and actually make it a little bit larger, I can do that as well. So let's just go to where it says title font size, and I'm going to just increase this by a little bit to 15. And now we'll see that it has a larger title here for this section. And I'm just going to save and exit that. I'm going to go up here and update it. And then I'm going to just refresh, and then we're going to get into how to do this with the visual builder itself. So if we watch this bar, it will go up once the page actually refreshes, and there it goes, it shoots on up. Now I'm going to add a couple more skills here with the visual builder, so let's just enable the visual builder. And once that loads, we can just scroll on down. And here we'll see our skills section, and I'm just going to click on the screw icon here, and I'm going to click Add New Item. And here I'm going to just add HD Photography, and I'll make this 100% because we do that 100% of the time, and I'll save it. And here I'm just going to add new item again. And this one I'm going to just put Photoshop. And I'll just put 73 here, just have a random number. And if we save that, we'll be able to see that here's our bar counters. It might look a little weird that you have the second one with 100% and the first one 95. You might want to show off your top one first. So we can drag it and resize it right here, reorder it right here. And we'll just save it. And now this section is pretty much complete. To make the changes saved again, you want to go to Expand Settings and just click Save to make these changes go into effect. Now I will point out, if you're working here in the front end builder, you also shouldn't be working in here at the same time. One change will override the other one. So you want to make sure you're out of the one when you're in the other. See, it's saying, do you want to leave this? You haven't saved changes, but I already saved the changes on the front. So if you go and save the changes here, it's going to revert back to the last version you had before we just made these last two updates. So you want to really be sure of that you're not overwriting each other and going back, like overwriting changes and going back and forth all the time. So if I go and exit the visual builder right here, it should look the exact same as we just had it. And I'll scroll down, and there we are with all three categories. Now, had I saved that one on the front after it, it would have went back and we would have only had the one up here. So that's something you really got to remember. Going forward, I messed this up so many times early on when I was dealing with the visual builder for the first time. and it's something you should definitely be aware of. And that wraps up the home page here that I'm going to edit. At least I'm going to get into the footer options here at the bottom as we progress through this tutorial. And I just wanted to point out with the accent color here, if you hover over, you'll see that it does change to the accent color, which is kind of cool. But I'm going to get into all that a little later, and next I'm going to actually move on to the pricing page of the website.